Well, my next guest, he's going to be pulling duty in Ohio as well as in the Midwest, as well as a lot in California and on the West Coast, driving for two different race teams. He's from Lemoore, California. He had a sensational 2022 year, and he's hoping that lightning strikes twice in 2023. It's Lemoore, California's Cole Macedo next on Getting Up to Speed. Hello, I'm Ben Dethridge, and I'm the host of Getting Up to Speed. We talk to sprint car drivers from the Pacific Coast, whether they race in Oregon, Washington, California. If they run it, we're going to talk about it. Also branch out a little bit, as well as drivers that perhaps are from here that race elsewhere, or some drivers that come in and try and take some money from the West Coast. In these episodes, we talk about past experience, past seasons, as well as upcoming races, as well as how's the season going. We hope you enjoy these episodes. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps us out. And stay tuned for more and more content. Now let's get in the interview. Well, race fans, with me now on the phone, he will be splitting duties in 2023, driving the famed Charlton Motorsports number 21 entry, as well as the 18 for Ray Brooks Racing out of Lemoore, California, Cole Macedo. Cole, it's great to have you here talking about what's going to be happening in 2023. I guess 2023 racing has already happened for you because you've got a couple of races under your belt in Australia.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on the show. It's been good to get some races under my belt in 23 already, and I think that it'll really help me out to be acclimated when my normal season starts. So I'm pretty excited for that, and hopefully it works out. But yeah, it was a lot of fun and a lot of good times there in Australia with a lot of really good people.
Yeah, spent some time at Premier Speedway in Warrnambool, Victoria. Made the show on the final night of the Grand Annual Classic. I mean, that's a big accolade to accomplish. It was cool to see a lot of Americans back racing at the GAC. Yeah,
that place is an awesome facility, and they do a lot of different stuff than we have in the U.S. Like they don't really have bleachers. Everybody just pulls up a chair and sits on the grass, and the kids and everything can just run about and play. And it's like I said, it's a beautiful facility, and I think they did a really good job with as many cars as they had and the rain circumstances and everything. I think that it was an awesome event.
Sure. And 2022, incredible for you guys, specifically racing in Ohio much of the year. Pulling off the AFCS Championship, the two-track championship between Attica and Fremont, winning the title outright at Attica. Man, that has got to feel such an accomplishment, and representing the West Coast well.
Yeah, it was a really good year, and Mike and Steven Linder, along with Stephanie, they wanted to chase the championships at the beginning of the year, and I agreed to it, and it was just a big relief that we could get that done. And I think it was really huge for Ray Brooks, and he started a team 2 years ago, from nothing, and to have a picture on his wall of he's already got 2 championships, and I think we had 6 wins the first year, so to have, about 15 or so, a little bit over 15 wins for Ray Brooks Racing already, in 2 years' time is I think really huge for him, and a huge accomplishment, So, I think that it was definitely an awesome year last year, and I wish that Knoxville wouldn't have, Knoxville and Fremont wouldn't have been running on the same night, because I had to go run Knoxville, and I think we would have tied up the Fremont Championship too. I had like 70 lead or something like that, but I had to miss a couple races going back to run for Dietz Motorsports, and so I lost that deal. But I think that we probably could have won all 3, but
sure,
just didn't work out.
Yeah, this year though, right? 2023, it'll happen, right?
I mean, we're not running for any championships this year, but I'm just gonna, with the split schedule that I'm doing, I'm just gonna try to win as much as I can, and do my best to try to get some kind of all-star ride or outlaw ride in the future, whether that be with the teams I'm with or, or another team, or you never know.
Sure, absolutely. In the 410 category here domestically in the United States, 10 wins, 4 at Attica, 3 at Fremont, 3 at Wayne County. You guys were on kill for a lot of the season. Was it just like just a good wave of momentum, or was there something that you guys had figured out right off the get-go, or just a combination of both?
Well, Mike and Steven Linder have grown up at Attica and Fremont for the majority of their whole life, actually, I should say. And, that's where they've raced the majority of their career. And, they do a really good job at getting me comfortable there. And, I think that it's definitely the best car in Ohio, but by far. So, it makes my job a lot easier, to win races, and, they give me confidence. And then, this Wayne County this year, we hit on something last year at the end of the year. Definitely had a lot of speed. And, this year, I think there was 4 races total we ran, and I won 3 of them. So, I told Steven at the end of the year, like, man, this car is easy to drive here. I can pretty much hold it wide open and just, barely turn the wheel. And it's definitely not that easy to run the fence. So, him having me that comfortable, makes it a lot easier, like I said. So, it was just a good year all around, and I had a lot of fun racing for them guys.
How much did the California experience play into factor, or was it a large adjustment once you started racing a lot in Ohio and outside of the Golden State?
It was definitely a big change. Growing up in California, you race a lot of bull rings, and you're really up on the wheel, and you can kind of carry your car a little bit more, and just as long as you drive harder than the other guy, you can have success. Where in Ohio, you got a lot of these tracks that are real flat and slick and slow, and you got to really pay attention to what you're doing, and make sure that your crew chief is doing a good job too. There's a lot of nights that we're running right through the middle of the corner and not really hitting any kind of grip, so you're relying on your car, to be better than the other guy to make better speed. That was the biggest change for me, is just, I can't just always hustle the car and win races. You just gotta, get with your crew chief and get acclimated with him and build a package that, is better than the other guys. You know what I mean? So, that would be the biggest change for sure.
Yeah, but it's got to feel really exciting, and it's really been cool the last few years of drivers from the West Coast to go out in Ohio and do well. JJ Hickle's another guy that's going to be coming out there, and he'll be racing frequently in the Buckeye State, and it seems to be a really good testing ground, a proving ground too.
Yeah, I think that it's done a lot for many people's career growing up, and I think that a lot of it, I've gotten asked that question a lot, and it's been tough for me to answer because I just don't know. I think that it definitely puts on good racing every week, but it's not like it's something crazy where if you can be good there, then you can be good everywhere. They're different from most tracks, and I just think that the biggest difference is, man, you can go to Ohio and you can race 70 410 shows running mostly local competition every single week, so for the average race car driver, you can go and have some success but race so much all within 3 or 4 hours, and you can get way more 410 racing under your belt in one season. So I think that's the biggest difference. I think that helps. Seat time is king, and I think the more seat time you get, the better you are, and or the better chance you give yourself to be better. And I think that's why like you come to California, and if you're just the most 410 races I think you could run in a year, even with the outlaw swing, is I think like 35 shows or something like that. And
sure,
it's just that's half the amount of racing you can get in Ohio. So like I said, I think that's the biggest difference.
Yeah, yeah, and it's definitely, it seems like it's a different culture. I mean, I'm from Oregon, and it's a lot of just Saturday night stuff. California's, a different culture. Ohio's a different culture. So is Central Pennsylvania and even Knoxville. They're wells of awesomeness.
Yeah.
2023, you said you guys aren't really focusing on anything particular as far as points, but is there anything specific that you guys are wanting to hit, or you're wanting to, go to some of the marquee events in the eastern part of the country, or what's that kind of looking like? It sounds like it's going to be a pretty big split between a couple different teams.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start the year here in California and race some local California stuff. I think we start at Silver Cup in Chico, and then run some local 360 and so a little bit of NARC stuff before I leave, and then I leave March at the beginning of April, and head to run for Ray Brooks and run April, May, and then a little some of June, and then all the way clear up till the Doty. And then in the middle of that, I'm going to hit Dirt Cup with the 21 car. But yeah, run till about June. And then after the Doty, I'm going to go to Eldora in the 21 and start that quest and run Eldora, run some Knoxville local stuff, and then hit Knoxville Nationals. I think it's up in the air right now what we're going to do. Either Peebly or 360 Nationals, and then Penn Nationals, and then Jackson Nationals, and then kind of follow the Outlaws after that, through Washington, down through Oregon, and then all the way back to California and run the California swing, and then finish the year off, running trophy and that kind of deal. So that's what it looks like, for both cars. I'm in the 18 for about those 3 months, April, May, and June. And then you never know, if we get a rain out or something and I can, get a flight, I think that them guys at Ray Brooks Racing will be ready enough where I can jump on a flight and head to the racetrack and maybe get a race in. They're pretty prepared, and like I said, I think it's the best car in all. So and there's a reason for that. I think that they're just so prepared, and that's kind of what we talk. Or I can get a chance, I'm gonna go race for them guys. So yeah.
Well, that's going to be pretty exciting, coming, I think Dirt Cup, that'll be really cool to see, no doubt. And it's always exciting to come back home, especially when the Outlaws are in town, because, you go on the road and sometimes, some guys take their licks and everything, or they get better. In your case, you had, an exceptional year last year. And I know you ran some of the fall specials last year, Trophy Cup, and I think you were, Dennis Roth Classic, I think, and the Simone in the Central Valley. But always good to get back home and race close to friends and family.
Yeah. I haven't been able to do a whole lot of it the last couple of years, and just with the commitments I've had with the 18, and I got to run 4 or 5 shows here last year and had some success, and got a couple podiums, and it was a lot of fun. So I think that and I was jumping around from car to car, so I think that it's made it tough in the past to do that. And it's like I said, getting committed with a team is huge, and being able to race with Drew Warner and Shane all year, and I think that we're already pretty close. And I ran for him once last year, and we got hitting our stride there pretty quick, and so I think racing with him all year, when I come home, I think that we have all the opportunity in the world to be able to show out in front of the hometown crowd, and I'm super excited for that.
Yeah. So we've talked about racing, but when you're not racing, I mean, you just got back from Australia, so there isn't too much of an off season for you. What are some things that you try and do at least to relax during some downtime when you're not hammer down racing all the time?
It's tough, because with what we do, I don't want to get hurt, but I definitely do a couple. I enjoyed golfing and stuff like that. I did that through high school, and have a couple of buddies I go golf with, and then I do a little bit of snowboarding here and there, but it's just so tough to go snowboarding, and you're trying to do fun stuff and you end up getting hurt or something. So I try to limit that as much as I can. But yeah, those are probably the two things that I do that when I'm not racing, I can go enjoy that and have a good time. So
nice. So you're the tourist director. If people want to go snowboarding, Lemoore, it's for folks that don't know, maybe in the Midwest or East Coast or even in the Northwest, it's by Hanford. It's just west of Hanford, a couple miles. What are the good locales to go find snow?
The closest one for us is up in the mountains, China Peak, just past Shaver Lake there. It's a good place, especially right now. I think, I haven't been here for it, but everybody said that California about drowned there for a couple weeks. I guess they got hammered with rain for like 2 weeks straight. So everybody says that the snow is amazing up there. So I'm going to probably go up there this weekend and check it out and probably just take it easy. But I think it's like record snowfall there in a long time. So definitely going to check that out. And you're a lot less likely to get hurt when there's a lot of powder. So
sure, more cushion.
So definitely you got to take advantage of it while it's here.
Yeah. I'm sure when it gets bare and you're starting, you hear your board, hitting some gravel or something, that's not good.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess just going to Australia and racing there for the times that you have, just for folks that may not know and may never have had the opportunity, what is it like going to a different country to race, specifically, as far away as Australia?
Oh, it was way different than I was expecting. They have just a different way of everything. Like first thing off is just I'm getting in the wrong side of the vehicle every time I get in the vehicle. Driving on the wrong side that was very tough for me to get figured out.
Mm-hmm.
I got that figured out, and then I came home and I'm driving on the wrong side of driving on the wrong side of the road here, and driving in head on traffic, and so that was tough. And then they just everything's a little bit different. Their food's a lot different. Like they have everything we have here, but just, your normal racetrack food, you can't just go get a cheeseburger at the racetrack. It's a meat pie or a schnitzel or, half these things I've never even seen before. And so like I go to the snack bar and I look like I'm, not all there. I'm sitting there staring at the menu, not knowing what to order. And, so it was a lot different. And then, they have, many different rules on the racing that I'm not a real big fan of, but, it is what it is. That's their deal. And, it's just, everything was like their tracks are way different. All their tracks are super flat, like almost reverse banking when you get up towards the top. And, they run different tires, different wings. So it's just, it was a big, culture shock for me. It's just definitely crazy. It was definitely not what I was expecting. I was expecting to see kangaroos everywhere, and there definitely was some, but not. I was expecting them to be all over the roads and everything.
Sure.
So what I've seen in movies and stuff like that is that it's like the outback, right? So a place in Australia that has that, but all the places that we were at were mostly city, and it was definitely a lot different.
No koalas flying through the window trying to attack you. That's good.
Yeah, for sure.
Were you able to do any sightseeing at all when you had some time over there too?
The only thing that I really did other than racing was I got to spend New Year's with the Dyson family on Sydney Harbor, and that's awesome. And I guess even in people in Australia, there's only like 10% of people that get to do that. So
sure.
So that was really cool for me and my brother, and the getting invited to that, it was super fun and super thankful for that. So but other than that, man, we raced pretty much every other day. So I think I got 14 races in 30 days or something like that. So it made it tough to do anything other than racing, because after you race, the next day is maintenance or even 2 days of maintenance or getting the trailer ready and stuff like that. So, or just relax. And, you race that much and you're exhausted,
Sure.
halfway through it. So, yeah.
Well, and was much of a factor this? Was jet lag or the time difference a big factor, or perhaps weather? Any of those play havoc on you?
No, not really, actually. The time difference didn't really affect me. I'm a pretty good sleeper on flights, so
Okay.
I could sleep the entire flight or most of it, I should say, and wake up and be a new guy. So
Yeah.
never really bothered me in the past, but yeah, it's hot there, really hot. So it's crazy leaving California and it was starting to get cold and get there and it's theirs is 40 degrees. It's Celsius, but that's hot, and it's like a 90 or 100 degrees for us. So yeah, that was crazy. And then you get back here, like I had shorts and a t-shirt on when I got back here, and I got off the plane and I was freezing. So yeah, it was just crazy, and then like I looked at a globe. I never really. I looked at a globe when I got there at the airport, and it's literally on the other side of the world.
Sure.
So, yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, but it's so great that they have such a passion for sprint car racing, and they brought some drivers over that have done well and successful, and vice versa.
Yeah, I think that the Australians, they think that I think they take really good care of us Americans, and make a bigger deal than we do here. I think that should change, but like they played the national anthem for us every single time. If there was an American at the track, they played the national anthem for us and talked about us, and did a lot of interviews, and they did their best to make sure that we left our mark there. And I think that's awesome. I think that more tracks here should do stuff like that. And if teams here have the opportunity, I think that they should bring a couple drivers over here, and I think it's good for the sport, and and it's kind of giving back, I should say, but I know it's expensive, and yeah, and I was super appreciative for the whole House family for doing that for me and letting me have that experience. So
yeah, absolutely, just simply incredible. Well, Cole, for any upcoming news or your schedule, or if people want to get any sort of apparel, what is the best way for folks to hunt down those things?
I would say just follow the social medias, either Tarleton Racing or my personal social medias, and I usually am pretty good about posting all the schedules and updating merchandise and stuff like that. But yeah, Tarleton Racing or Ray Brooks, or another good one is Stephanie Linder. She's really good at up not only the Ray Brooks stuff, but any of my personal stuff too. They take pretty good care of me. So yeah, that's a good way to find out whatever I'm doing. She's pretty much anything I do, she's on top of it and posting a picture of it. So yeah, it's always good, and it's good. She keeps everybody informed, and probably sometimes I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I know it's for the best for me, and I know that's what she's doing. So
sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any folks that you want to thank or sponsors you want to give a shout out to? I'd like to give you the platform for just a little bit to acknowledge them for helping you do what you've been able to do.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank, Tarleton Motorsports and, along with Drew Warner and Shane Watts for giving me a shot, and Sean Dyson on board, to help make it happen. And, the entire Ray Brooks Racing, Ray Brooks himself and Mike and Steven and Stephanie Linder, all they do for me and continue to support me in my career. And I couldn't do it without, each and every one of them people.
Awesome. Well, we greatly appreciate you coming on board, Cole, and we wish you the best of luck in 2023. And I think we'll be checking in with you throughout the season as well, just to get some progress reports, especially if there's some successes being happening.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to this latest episode of Getting Up to Speed with me, Ben Dethridge. We hope you enjoyed this program. We hope also that you hit the subscribe button and the like button, as that really helps things out, spreads things out. Be sure and share as well on social media so that more people can listen to these great interviews and from these great drivers. Getting Up to Speed is a production of Highside Racing Promotions. For more information, you can check it all out on Facebook at Highside Promotions.